Hey guys, Vol here again, back with some Warhammer Fantasy. It's Skaven against Tomb Kings. As you guys know, I actually sold my Tomb Kings army the other month, but this is Glenn's Tomb Kings army that I'm up against. He's using the new book, 8th edition. He's even got a big sort of skeletal mammoth, which is really cool. He's using that to represent a war sphinx. He's also got a very large unit of chariots with a king and the token sort of horde of tomb guard, which are actually protecting his hierophant. A little bit dangerous there. He's got a herald and a prince in that unit. And everything else that you see here, he's got a scorpion, a catapult, 30 or 40 archers, whatever it is. The unit of chariots that you see on the top right of the photo, though, they are meant to represent Necropolis Knights, so don't forget that during the report. Me, I'm cranking out my brand new Skaven list, which, no, it's actually not brand new. You've seen me use it in a battle report previously against Nick's Wood Elves, which I won. So guys, haven't changed anything in that particular list, so if you remember that battle report, that's what I've got. Got the Bell, Grey Seer, of course, Plague Furnace, Helped Abomination, the 50 rats, including Packmasters, 2 units of 40 slaves, 2 units of 7 gutter runners with slings and poison, warp lightning cannon. Let's go to the next photo. You can see that I've deployed my gutter runners back behind the hill and my units here. I need to move forward 12 inches and shoot at his War Sphinx. We're playing Blood and Glory this game, so the force is deployed 15 inches in from the table edge, but not within 9 inches of the short table edges. So that will allow me to move a bit closer in the first turn and fire little rocks at his War Sphinx, hopefully killing it. And that'll be the best bet for killing the War Sphinx, just due to the massive poison. Next image shows you a bit of a close-up on the chariots that he's using as the Necropolis Knights themselves. He's put little sort of pink feathers on the horses and the chariots just to sort of help show that, because I believe that the Necropolis Knights models have something similar on them. I can't quite remember though. Next image again, he has deployed his scouting units of fast cavalry with bows right to the left flank of my army here. Not too worried about these guys, because if they charge any of the units on the left hand side there, they'll just crumble really easily. He can go for a warp lightning cannon if he wants to though. Next image, I win the roll for the first turn despite, deploying, taking a longer time to deploy than he did. I've kept the right flank back a bit because the armies are so close together in the scenario that he could easily charge me with his chariots, but I've swept around the left-hand side with my left-hand flank because the Helped Abomination and the Giant Rats really eager to see combat. Next image, after my magic phase did very little, he's moved forward in his turn 1, and I feel that, he could have charged with his chariot straight away, but made the mistake of not doing that, and just moving forward normally, and, Glenn sort of forgot about the fact that the armies were a bit closer together and decided not to pull it, but oh well. He's moved the centre forward and really kept everything else back. The Screamer Skull Catapult tried for a shot but missed, and I think he managed to get a ward save or maybe even smiting off with his Lich Priest Hierophant. Next image, he's moved around with his scouting dudes, but they, don't really cause any damage with the bows. I've got the Storm Banner in this list, but I've opted not to use it because the -2 to shooting won't affect his bows, and it will affect my slings if it carries on a further turn, which I don't want. Next image, he's piling forward here with his chariots. He's lost one chariot from my Warp Lightning Cannon getting a lucky hit on the corner of one guy. And his king, just so that you know, he's packing out the Death Mask, probably the best item in the new Tomb King's book. He's also got like a Biting Blade and Glittering Scales, meaning that he forces me to have -1 to hit when attacking him. But I quite like these models, especially the Mammoth, the Undead Mammoth that he previously used as a giant in the 7th edition book. Well, it's technically 6th edition book that was the last of Tomb King's book, but now the 8th edition War Sphinx. Next image again, I've moved forward now, it's my turn 2. Critically charging his chariots with my giant rats. The Death Mask will, ruin their giant rats' chances of getting through there, and that will be a problem. But I'm really banking on throwing as many dice as possible at a Death Frenzy and solving that problem. The gutter runners moving forward, and the unit of clan rats with a warlock just moving out of the way so that the gutter runners can shoot past them at the War Sphinx. And what really annoyed me is that I fired 14 shots per unit, so that's 28 shots, and only got 2 poison hits, which was extremely unlucky. I was expecting to have 4 or 5 poisons out of that bunch, but only got 2, and that wounded the mammoth, I think, once, and the following turn he healed the wound back. So a bit of bad luck there from the start. Next image shows you the combat, and I've actually circled around with all of my other units just so that I can follow up here. And the plan is to cast Death Frenzy, force him to take a couple of rounds to kill the giant rats, and by that time I'll be in the flank with a Helpet Abomination or the Grey Seal with a Bell, and that should really take the game right there. Next image shows you the other positioning that I've done here with the Helpet. The Helpet's in a really good position there because it means that the Tomb Guard can't charge past the Helpet to get to any of my units behind it, and they can't charge the slaves either. So they're stuck there. They're going to be in combat with the Helpet Abomination, and the Helpet should do a really good job of mashing up the Tomb Guard. And also my block of 40 slaves should be able to just tie down his Necropolis Knights for several turns, which has made me feel really good about the situation here. Next image shows you an overhead battle view of it, and you can see in much more sort of clarity how I've angled that. If the Tomb Guard try to declare a charge on anything but the Helpet Abomination, they won't be able to close the door past it or wheel past it. So I'm really lucky to have rolled high enough for the Helpet Abomination to get into that scenario. You've also got the Grey Seal with the 2 red dice on the bell there itself. That'll represent my 2 Warpstone tokens. You are allowed to throw 6 dice at a spell and then use Warpstone tokens above that to actually increase the number of dice that you roll above 6, and that's how I managed to cast the Death Frenzy so reliably on the rats this turn, and it did take effect, meaning that the rats are frenzied, meaning they don't take the fear check, which they would have failed due to the Death Mask. And also gives them, +2 attacks at the front, giving me a whopping like 42 attacks or something stupid. Still, when the combat raged on, I didn't actually do that much damage on the chariots themselves, but fortunately I didn't lose the combat either, which is the main thing. Next image, he's countercharged here with the Necropolis Knights. Because of the positioning, he wasn't able to get both the Tomb Guard and the Necropolis Knights charging the Abomination at once, as he would have liked to. So he's instead charged the slaves, which, I'm all for that, given that the slaves will hold them up for a while. Next image, the War Sphinx has charged into the giant rats. It should kill quite a lot of them with its Thunder Stomp and, of course, the Thunder Crush attack with the template, but that's kind of what I want at this stage. It's his turn now, and what I want him to do is wipe this unit out so that I can then counterattack with all of my other units after the rats have been cleared away. Next image, he's charged my Warp Lightning Cannon with his 5 archers here. He started with 5, but they're ranked up in this position. And interestingly enough, he totally whiffed his attacks here, and the crew of the cannon somehow got 2 or 3 wounds on him, so actually won the combat somehow, which was really bizarre. Next image, hopefully